Hi everyone, it's Ryan McEnany. I am here to tell you about a project that I've been working on. It's called The Right Stuff. It's a conservative invite-only dating app, very different from the other dating apps that are out there right now. You're not going to find a pronoun option in the bio. You know, we don't do that, but it will give you a chance to meet a conservative guy that you could potentially get married to one day. We don't know, but it gives you a chance to meet someone who's like-minded. It is launched.
The dating world is so crazy. The other night I went out with this guy and I was like, what are your thoughts on kids? And he said, I'm not gonna have any kids. I feel like it's the worst thing you can do for the environment. Yeah, that's what.
Okay, so that was an advertisement for a right-wing focused dating site. Obviously, it's taking place at this Young Women's Leadership Summit. We're gonna have more on what the right has to say about relationships. But Jessica, I wanted to start there because I find it so hilarious that they love to say that the left gets easily triggered and that they're snowflakes and everything has to be exactly their way or they'll just lose it. These people are apparently like, they cannot accept occasionally coming across someone with their pronouns listed. And they will go to a dating site specifically so they will never accidentally go on a date with someone who disagrees with them on literally anything. Like if you have a different opinion, like are there not conservative people that maybe don't want to have kids? Like the idea that you would ever accidentally come across a person who doesn't want to spawn, like that's so unacceptable to them. What do you think?
It sounds like, yeah, this argument about I don't want to have kids because of the environment, super common, right? People are afraid that their children will have to fight in the water wars. It's your choice whether or not you want to have a kid. Sounds like they're trying to infringe upon men's right to choose. They want this guy to have a kid pretty clearly. But yeah, absolutely absurd. Kind of funny that this is being presented at a women's leadership conference. They're like, do you wanna just be a housewife instead? We have this app that like maybe you could use. Kind of a bad time to be introducing a dating app in my opinion, but I don't pretend to understand these people's brains.
Well, look, it is the through line of this women's leadership conference. And by the way, nothing against any career path that you might choose. But that was the focus, seemingly from the speeches. It was, how do I land a guy and how do I have kids? And that's fine. That's a part of a healthy life, I think, is pursuing the sort of relationship you want and having kids if you want to. But it really did seem like the leadership part was branding, the landing a conservative bro was the focus. And actually, we're gonna get to more video that's gonna demonstrate that point. So Alex Clark is the head of is it Talking Points USA? What's their stupid group's name? Anyway, she's the head of trying to get women to want to spend more than 5 minutes in this group of awful guys. And so Alex Clark is gonna explain a little bit about the appeal.
Not only are you surrounded by fellow conservative women tonight, but you're also gonna hear from the biggest, baddest voices in the conservative movement. And they're gonna encourage you. They're gonna give you a little pep talk here and there, and who knows, they might actually have some advice for you on how to find your dude-servative. Yeah, I heard we got real loud in the audience for that.
Oh, we did get loud. She apparently heard me gag. Anyway, so again, you're gonna hear from the baddest voices. So they mean they're bringing in a bunch of conservative guys to tell them how they can land a conservative guy. I guess that's the political pep talk that you need heading into the midterms, to hear from literally Charlie Kirk, about how to get this done. So he came on right after Alex Clark, and he spoke each day. He encouraged on day one the audience to start a chapter at their high school or college, saying this effort might lead to an engagement because, quote, if you wanna go meet conservative men that have their act together, that aren't like woke beta men, like start a Turning Point USA chapter, you'll meet a lot of them. He said that the biblical model for women to pursue in relationships is a partner who is a protector and a leader, and deep down, a vast majority of you agree. That is like, he's got supposedly an audience of a lot of women. And I love that he comes up and he's like, this is the model, and deep down, you all know it. Like they're already a friendly audience. They're already conservative and religious and everything, but he even feels the need to imply that there might be some of you who think you have any other value to the world, but deep down, you know you're wrong. Anyway, Jessica, do you feel the pull to potentially become a conservative? They're making a strong case there.
I don't think I'll be trying to get an invite to the app, invite only. I don't think I would be able to land an invite, but if I wanted one, yeah, I would probably get rejected. But I don't. But I think it's important to say that all women who choose a life of being a housewife, of having kids, there's nothing wrong with that, right? My feminism suggests women can choose whatever life they want. But it becomes a problem when you're kind of indoctrinated that this is the right thing to do and this is what it means to be successful for a woman in society, is to do this one thing. And they're almost creating cult-like infrastructure, like you must find your spouse within this community. It's getting scary. That part of this is scary. I do think it will reduce the amount of men holding deer heads that we see on usual dating apps, which is a net good.
There's a lot of that. Like, I don't necessarily have any value, but here's a big fish. I don't know. I'm personally fine with people showing their hobbies off or whatever. Mine would just be me holding a board game. So is that any cooler? I don't know. But look, we're gonna turn to the women because I find that to be the more interesting part of this. But just like the idea that we need to show like strong alpha men. So here's Charlie Kirk. Like, I don't think they are very good in their movement of like self-analysis. Like, we're gonna get into the stuff with Kyle Rittenhouse and everything, but like all of their commentator role models for men, like it isn't what they say an alpha is supposed to be, as an outsider at least. I'm not part of their group, I don't know. But anyway, I wanna talk a little bit more about the women because do we have time for the video? Let's go to this last video. It's gonna lead into the final part of this conversation.
And I wanted to know, as a young woman in college, what can I do like with my femininity, and how can I use my femininity to attract good men and to hopefully find a husband someday?
No, you will. Here's the thing. Men don't like women that act like men unless they're gay, right? I mean, that's literally like they're not looking for women that act like men. And it's something that people won't tell you. It's like, this is one of the great lies of modern feminism, is that these women get on this corporate ladder believing that it makes them more attractive to men. Like, a man is not looking at a woman going, well, I hope she makes 6 figures, right? They're looking at a woman and they're thinking, is she going to be the mother of my children, right? And that is, I am telling you, you have way more luck when you begin tapping into that nurturing aspect, your natural superpowers. Men just find those women to be more desirable. I'm telling you, it's like this weird lie that has been implanted in everybody's head. The more successful I become, the more men are going to want me. And in reality, what it really does is it makes men feel smaller in a lot of ways. Not saying that you shouldn't want to have success in your life, but when you're trying to be a man, they don't know what their role is. You guys are now polarized pieces of each other. You know what I mean? You're fighting against each other.
I don't doubt that a lot of people in the audience missed what she was doing at the end there, but that is such an amazing burn on conservative men, that they are so small and so unsure and so sensitive and worried about what. But if you're good and if you make a lot of money and if you're successful and fulfilled and if you don't draw all of your value in life out of me putting you in a position of economic and social and cultural and political subservience, then I'm not gonna feel like a big man. Like, she seems to implicitly understand that that's what their guys are like. And so all of you women out there, don't trigger these weak little conservative men that we've got on this app for you. But anyway, nothing against the person in the audience. Like, if you could do whatever you want. But Jessica, the thing that amazes me is all of the women that will come to speak at this, people like Candace Owens will say, stop focusing on your career. Stop focusing on making money. All of that not only is not necessary to get a man, it is in fact hurting your chances. It's hurting your chances of having a happy, successful life. And all of those women will then finish their speech at this thing and then go back to doing everything they can to make money and be a success. Starting companies and selling books and running podcasts and going on speaking tours. All of the things they say to these women, don't you do it, they will do. Because why wouldn't they? It's what they want to do. It's what fulfills them. It's what gives them money and security and stability and all that. But I just don't get why the audience doesn't recognize the gap between their rhetoric and their own life plan.
Also the framing there, right? The framing that it's all about finding a man, that the only reason a woman would want a career or success is because it might make her look better to a man. But actually that's wrong. And it's ridiculous that it's even framed in that way to start with, that inherently you can find value and love in what you do for work. And maybe if you want to go have a career and make money for yourself, you're not doing that to be more attractive to men. It's ridiculous. And then Candace Owens also kind of hints that there's some understanding of the gender spectrum there, where she says, women who act like men and look like men will be attracted to, or men will find them attractive, and if they do, then they're gay. It's some understanding that there's a spectrum of gender. And so, I don't know, she revealed that she might be smarter than she usually alludes to on that front.
Yeah, we were talking about this a few days ago. I don't remember exactly what the context was, but it was about the Matt Walsh thing. So they pretend to not understand what the concept of gender is. There is only sex. It is only your biology. That is the truth. Well, what do you mean acting like a man then? When you were acting like a man, were you growing a penis gradually? Because there's only biological sex. You're totally right. They totally understand all of this. They're just paid to pretend that they don't.
For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/thedamagereport. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.